Hello, today I'm going to show you how to add test questions to a question pool and then how to make a quiz out of those questions. So I'm going to start by going into the course shell of the course I want to work on. And then I'm going to go to Course Admin and select Quizzes. Then I'm going to go to Question Library, and I'm going to create a new section in the question library for my new test that I'm working on. In this case, I'm going to give it the title Test 3. At this point, I usually like to select this box to shuffle questions in the section. That keeps it so that the order is random for the students to minimize cheating. Then you click Save. You can make several sections within your question pool, but to keep this simple, I'm going to create only 3 sections, subsections. The first will be multiple choice. And again, I'm going to shuffle questions in this section. And then because I'm going to make 2 more, I'm going to select Save and Copy. That will allow me to save the box that I've already checked. Then I will have a true and false. And again, I'm going to select Save and Copy. And my third one, we're going to call Short Answer. Because this is the last one, I'm going to just click Save. Next, I'll go into the first section, multiple choice. Click on the link. And then, as you guessed, the type of question for this section will most likely be multiple choice. So I'm going to select New, Multiple Choice Question. And in this box, I'm going to type the text of the question. And then I'm going to type in my 4 possible answers. If I wanted to add another answer, another option, I would select Add Answer. If I don't want as many answers as are available, I can check these X's, and that will get rid of them. If I don't like the order they're in, I can hover my mouse over these 2 rows of dots, and when I grab them with my mouse, as you'll see, I can change the order. One thing I like to do to further randomize content for the students to minimize cheating is to check this box, Randomize Answers for each student. If you do this, that will mean each student might have these 4 answers in this order, or they might receive them in a different order. The choices will remain the same though. Whichever one you have marked as the correct answer will be still paired with the correct answer. If you are going to have a complicated answer like A and B, C and D, all of the above, none of the above. In that case, you might not want to randomize the answers, or you might want to rephrase the way you put in A and B, C and D, all of the above, none of the above, so that it still makes sense, even if they are in a different order. If you're going to make another question, you could click Save and New or Save and Copy. I like to use Save and Copy if I'm going to have multiple questions in a row with randomized answers, the same number of answers, or similar answers. For example, I might ask a different question with the same 4 choices, or I might ask the same question but with 4 different choices. The Save and Copy will allow you to do that. Save and New gives you a new blank template of this page. I'm just going to click Save right now. Oh, it has said that I forgot to select the correct answer. So in this case, you select a correct answer and save. Now I'm going to go back into test 3, and I'm going to go into true and false. True and false questions work in a manner that is very similar to multiple choice. I'm going to type a question. And then I select true or false, whichever is the correct answer, and save. Now I'm going to go back to test 3 and put in a short answer question. It wouldn't make sense to have 3 separate sections if you only had 3 questions on your test. This makes more sense if you are going to have a large question pool of various types of questions and you want to be able to make your quiz with 5 out of 10 of this type of question, or 7 out of 10 of this type of question, selected at random so that each student will get a different test. The short answer works very similarly. I usually select written response for this because the short answer option only allows so many characters of text, whereas written response allows an unlimited number of characters. So you type in your question. And I usually do check this box, enable HTML editor for student responses. What that does, as you'll see over here, is allows the students to use things like links, photos, other types of media, symbols, emoticons, bold, italic, underlined text. They can cut and paste. They can use chemistry, graphical equations. They can format their answer as bullet points or checkboxes or numbered lists. It just makes it so that it's a much more rich way of editing. So I'm going to click Save. Now I have 3 sections, each with 1 answer. I'll come back later when I have more questions added to this pool, and I'll show you how to make the test from this question pool. Now that I have some questions added to each of these sections, I can go back and actually create the quiz. So I'm going to go back to the Content tab. going to scroll to the bottom. I'm going to create a new module because in the past, we've been putting tests into separate modules for this course. You don't necessarily have to do this step every time. You can add the quiz to another module that already exists. Now that I have a module, I'm going to go to Upload and Create, and we're going to make a new quiz. Title of the quiz will be Test 3. Uncheck Hide from Users. Click Save. Now we can add a grade item. You select this box and you pick from the drop down, Test 3, save. We do want it to be visible. Let's put in some start dates. We want this one to be visible starting Monday at 5 p.m. and we want it to be due on Thursday at 5 p.m. And because this is the last test of the semester, we don't want any chance of students taking longer than we want for grading purposes. So we're going to give it an end date of Friday at 5. Actually, let's make this available sooner. Let's make this available today at 8 p.m. So what this will do is this start date and time is when the students will be able to actually start taking the quiz. They will see it as an item in their D2L immediately. They will not be able to click on the link and take the quiz until this time. The due date lets them know when you would like to have it completed. It does not prevent them from turning it in late. It will flag it as late if they take the test late, and you'll see that as the instructor. The end date makes it disappear at this date and time. These can always be added after the fact. You can edit them at any time, and then you click Update. So now we go to Quiz Setup. We're going to add some quiz questions. We're going to add them from a question pool. Now the question pool title, in this case, will be Test 3 Multiple Choice. And we're going to browse Test 3. And let's include all of these questions. If you didn't want this one, you can uncheck the box. Or if you just wanted only one of them, you could check just one box. Since I want all of them, and there are 25, I'll put 25 in this box. If I knew that I had 100 questions in here and I only wanted 25, it would randomly select 25 questions out of the 100 to give to the students. Right here is where you have a chance to change the number of points that the questions are worth. In this case, we do want them to be worth 1 point apiece, so we won't change that. I misspelled multiple. So now we click Save. And we're going to repeat the process. Add question pool. This one is going to be called test 3 true and false. Browse the question library, go to test 3, and we'll select all of the true and false questions. There are 11, and we want all 11, so we'll put that there. Save. We will do this one more time. Add question pool. Add question pool. Question pool title will be test 3 short answer. Browse the question library, and we will take all of the short answer questions from test 3. There were 5 of them. We want all 5. And this time, we want them to be worth 3 points apiece, not just 1. Then we save. Now you're done adding questions. Go back to settings for test 3. If you wanted to have multiple pages that the students would click through, instead of putting all of the questions on one page, you could tell D2L how many questions you want on that page. And then if you have more than one page, you have the option of preventing them from moving backwards through the test. I have not done this. I have put all of the questions on a single page and not worried about this preventing moving backwards for the Bio 1 class, but you could do as you like. I also want to shuffle questions at the quiz level. That's just going to add another amount of variability to what the students will see. It'll keep them a little more honest. And as you scroll down, you'll see that it's random questions, and it does keep them within the subsections of multiple choice will be first, then true, false, then short answer. If we had only done one question pool for the entire test, the students might get a few multiple choice, a short answer, a true, false, and then some more multiple choice, and it wouldn't necessarily be in nice sections like this. Now, if you wanted to do that, then you could just make one question pool instead of 3 separate ones as we did here. Next, I'll go to the Restrictions tab. We've already put our due date, start date, and end date. If you wanted to use the lockdown browser, this would be how you would do it. I also like to check the amount of time that the students will have for the test. You click Expand, Optional, Advanced Restrictions, and then I select Enforced Time Limit. The time limit is set to 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. In this case, that is how long we want them to have. The grace period of 5 minutes is set by default, and that seems fair as well. And then in this case, we want the student to allow to continue working. We don't want to prevent them from making further changes, and we don't want to automatically score them as 0. We just want to have it marked as student took longer than was recommended. Special access. This is where you would add the chance for individual users to retake the test, or if they have additional minutes they are allowed to have per test, if they have some kind of accommodations, this would be the place you would go to set those up. And then we go down to the bottom and click Save and Close. This will take us back to this menu, and we could preview the test if we want to. Because it's not live yet, and it won't be until 8 p.m., and it's now 6:30 p.m., we can bypass restrictions, and that will allow us to start taking the preview quiz. The way this quiz is set up, we've got our short answers, got our true and false, and then we've got our multiple choice. Now, what the test did, because we shuffled at test level and we shuffled at the question pool level, it does not matter what order you place the question pools in. Some students will receive multiple choice first, some will receive it second, and some will receive it last. So now if we go back to our content page, you'll see that test 3 is listed here right now. If we view as a student, and we go back to content, you'll see that test 3 is here, and a student can click on it. It'll give them the instructions, but there's no start quiz button. This is because the time for the start date and time has not occurred yet. Then we can go back to viewing as an instructor. And that's it. That's how you make a quiz in D2L using question pools that you type yourself.